Shalom. All praise to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakadash. Double honor to the apostle elders, GMSs that taught me this truth. And peace to fellow Akim that has their life daily, push the truth with sincerity, and a few aquaflits and learning. Once again, my name is Inon with GMS Detroit Bar Camp. I pray this video is edifying to the hopeful elect, to so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans and Israelite foreigners scattered abroad, the four corners of the whole world. And with that said, hey, this video is on showing examples of how to be faithful unto death, you know. And we have men of Yahawah, Yahawashi, like in Daniel 3, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and they showed how they was preserved their integrity and not doing the king order, and even if it meant to them being caught, receiving the judgment of that wicked king, try to put them to death, but they didn't die because they faith in Yahawah Yahawashi sustained them. And this giving us a example how to remain faithful, you know. And there's another one right here in Daniel 2. Daniel in the lion's den, you know. So I'm gonna get them two. I'm gonna get the two in Second Maccabees, and I'm gonna get some scriptures on even if you do have to give the ghost like the men and the Maccabees did. It's a small thing for the Yahawah Yahawashi to bring you back forth into life again. So, hey, with that said, hey, my first scripture is Daniel 3:1. King Nebuchadnezzar, the king, made an image of gold, whose height was three scores cubits, and breadth thereof 6 cubits. And he set it up in the plain of Dura, in the province of Babylon. And when Nebuchadnezzar the king sent together the princes, the governors, and the captains, and the judges, and the treasurers, and the counselors, and the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. And this image that Nebuchadnezzar set up was a false idol. The princes and the governors and the captains and the judges and the treasurers and the counselors and the sheriffs and all the rulers of the provinces were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. And they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. And then the herald cried aloud, to you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, that at the time ye hear the sound of the cornet, the flute, the sharp, the sackbut, the psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kind of music, ye shall fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. And whoso falleth not down to worship shall be in the same hour be cast into a midst of a burning fiery furnace. Wherefore, at the time when all the people heard the sound of the cornet, the harp, and flute, and the sackbut, and the psaltery, and all kind of music, all the people and the nations and tongues fell down and worshipped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Wherefore at that time certain Chaldeans came near and accused the Jews, and they spoke and said to the king Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. Thou, O king, hast made a decree that every man shall hear the sound of the cornet, the flute, the sackbuts, and psalteries, and the dulcimer, and all kind of music, shall fall down and worship the golden image. And whoso falleth not down and worship, that he should be cast into a midst of a burning fiery furnace. there are certain Jews whom thou set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar, in his rage and fury, commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And then they brought these men before the king. Verse 14, Nebuchadnezzar spoke and said unto them, Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Do not ye serve my gods, nor worship the golden image, the golden image which I have set up? And now, if ye be ready, that at what time you hear the sound of the cornet, the flute, the sharp, and the cymbal, and the psaltery, and the dulcimer, and all kind of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands? And Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. If it be so, our power, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the fiery burning furnace, and he will deliver us out of thy hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. And then Nebuchadnezzar was full of fury, and the form of his visage changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 1.7 times more than it was to be heated. And the commandment of the most mighty men that were in his army to bind up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and cast them into the burning fiery furnace. When these men were bound in their coats and their hosen and their hats and their other garments was cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Wherefore, because the king commanded, that commandment was urgent, the furnace, exceedingly hot flame, slew those men that looked upon Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. That slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And these three men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down, bound into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished and rose up in haste and spake and said to his counselors, Did we not cast three men bound into the midst of the fiery, in the midst of the fire? And they answered to the king. They answered and said unto the king, True, O king. And he answered and said, Lo, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt. And the form of the fourth is like the son of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. And then Nebuchadnezzar came near the mouth of the burning fiery furnace and spake and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, ye servants of the Most High, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, come forth hither. And then Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego came forth of the midst of the fire, and the princes and the governors and the captives began to gather together. These men, upon whose body the fire had no power, nor was an hair of their heads singed, neither were their coats changed, nor the smell of fire passed on them. So, hey, this is one of the forms of upholding the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. Not bowing down to idols. Another one is right here. I'm gonna go straight to Daniel 6:5. Then these men, we shall not. This said these men, we shall not find any occasion against this Daniel, except we find it against concerning the law of his God. And Daniel 6, when these presidents and princes assembled together to the king and said thus unto him, King Darius, live forever. And all the presidents of the king and the governors and the princes and the counselors and the captains have consulted together to establish a royal statute, to make a firm decree, and whatsoever shall ask a petition of any God of man for 30 days, save thee, O king, ye shall be cast into the den of lions. And now, O king, establish the decree and sign the writing, that it may not change, according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, which altereth not. Therefore the king signed the writing and the decree. And now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open, and his chambers towards Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave praise before his power, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, as he did aforetime. And when these men assembled and found Daniel praying, making supplication before his power, verse 12, and then they came near and spake before the king concerning the king decree, hast thou signed a decree that every man that shall ask a petition of any god or man within 30 days, save of thee, O king, and shall be cast into the den of lions? And the king answered and said, the thing is true, according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, which altereth not. And then answered they and said before the king, that Daniel, which is of the children of the captivity of Judah, regardeth not thee, O king, nor the decree thou hast signed, but maketh his petition 3 times a day. And the king, when he had heard these words, he was sore displeased with himself, and set his heart on Daniel to deliver him, and labored till the going down of the sun to deliver him. When these men assembled unto the king and said unto the king, now, O king, the law of the Medes and the Persians is that no decree, no statute which the king established may be changed. And when the king commanded, and they brought the king commanded, they brought Daniel and cast him into the den of lions. And now the king spake and said unto Daniel, thy God whom thou servest continually, he was delivering thee. And the stone was brought and laid upon the mouth of the den. And the king sealed it with his own signet, with a signet of his words. and that the purpose that it may not be changed according to Daniel, considering Daniel, Slakia. And when the king went to his place and passed the night fasted, neither were the instrument of music brought before him. He slept and went from him. His sleep went from him. And when the king arose early in the morning, he went in haste to the den of lions. And when the king came to the den, he cried with a lamentable voice unto Daniel. And the king spake and said to Daniel, O Daniel, servant of the living power, is thy power, whom thou servest continually, able to deliver thee from the lions? And Slakia, verse 6 to 21, then said Daniel unto the king, live forever. My power hath sent his angel, and he has shut the lion's mouth, and they have not hurt me for as much as before. And him inconsistency was found in me. Also before thee, O king, have I done no hurt? And then was the king exceedingly glad for him, and commanded that they take Daniel up out of the den. So Daniel was taken up out of the den, and no manner of hurt was found upon him, because he believed in his power. And the king commanded that they brought those men which had accused Daniel, and cast them into the lion's den, and their children and their wives, and the lions had the mastery of them, and break all their bones in pieces. Or they came at the bottom of the den. And then the king Darius wrote all the people and nations and tongues that dwell upon the earth, peace be multiplied unto you. I make a decree that every dominion of my kingdom men tremble and fear before Yahawah, Bahasham Yahawashi, the power of Daniel, for he is the living God and steadfast forever. His kingdom that which shall not be destroyed, and his dominion shall be even unto the end. And God, this is another example of Daniel upholding the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High, giving the Most High reverence unto the Most High against the king's orders. And coming soon, it's going to be another king order that you got to take the MOTB. And the elders apostles say the MOTB is the new swine. So, we have examples about not eating swine flesh. And when that MOTB finally be passed out, when they disband money, where it's not, it's a cashless society, and only thing you're gonna be able to use is that human implanted microchip. Hey, when that comes to fruition, they're gonna put out a decree that either you accept this thing, or you're gonna be beheaded, according to the scriptures. I'm going by what the scriptures say, not what my own thoughts or my feelings is involved in this. I'm going by what the law, statutes, commandments of the scriptures of the Holy One, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. This is 2nd Ezra 6 and 18. Eleazar, one of the principal scribes, an aged man, well-favored countenance, was constrained to open his mouth and to eat flying flesh, but he choosing rather to die gloriously than to stand with such an abomination, spit it forth and came to its own accord to the torment. As it behooved them to come that are resolute to stand without such things as are not lawful for love of life to be tasted. Mankind, it's gonna come a time where this decree, the MOTB is gonna come out, and you gonna have to either take it or they're gonna put you to death, and you should be acting like Eleazar. This is another example of how to behave when the laws of men go against the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Because we ain't supposed to touch swine flesh either, whether it's living or dead whatsoever. You know, that's against the decree of the Holy One, which he gave to Moses unto the children of Israel. But rather chosen, verse 21, but they had charge of that wicked feast, and for the old acquaintance they had with the man, taking him aside, besought him to bring him flesh of his own provision, such as was lawful for him to use, and make as if he did eat the flesh taken from the sacrifice commanded by the king, and that so doing that he might be delivered from death. For the old friendship with them did find favor. But he began to consider discreetly, as it became his age, and excellency of his ancient years, and the honor of his gray head, whereon was come, and the most honest education from a child, rather the holy laws made given by Yahawah. Therefore he answered them accordingly, and willed them to straightway send him to the grave. Hey, that was an excellent response. Hey, just kill me, because I ain't gonna do this, you know, even though they were trying to provoke him to do it. Man, we have another person, Matthias. He did likewise. He didn't want to do the thing that the king said. You know, give sacrifices unto abominable animals on the altar of Yahawashi Yahawashi. Verse 24, and it become not our age, he said in any wise, to disassemble, whereby many young persons might think that Eleazar, being 80 old, and 90 years old, now gone to a strange religion. And so they thought, and so through my hypocrisy and desire to live a little time and a moment longer, should be deceived by me, and I get a stain to my old age and make it abominable. For through the present time I should be delivered from the punishment of men, yet I should not escape the hand of the Almighty, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, neither live nor dead. Therefore now manfully changing his life, and I will show myself as such as one my age required, and leave a notable example to such as to be young to willingly die courageously for the honorable and the holy laws. When he had said these words, immediately went to the torment. And this example of how to give up your life for the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. You know, the hell with the king's decrees of this wicked ass world. Hey, it's a righteous thing to uphold the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. And if you do so, hey, your name might be written down as a man that forego the law of the decree of men and uphold the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, and in the second kingdom. You know? And here go another one. The second Maccabee brothers. I'm gonna read a little of it. I ain't gonna read the whole chapter, but the whole chapter is a good example of how to die manfully for the law, statute, honorable law, statute, commandments of the Most High. You know, as it came to pass, also 7 brethren with their mother were taken and compelled by the king against the law to taste fine flesh, and were tormented with scourges and whips. But one of them spake first thus, that wouldest thou ask to learn from us? We are ready to die, than to rather transgress the laws of our father. Then the king, being enraged, commanded the pans and the cauldron be made hot, and forthwith, being heated, he commanded to cut off the tongue of him that spake first, and to cut off the utmost parts of his body, and rest his brethren, and the rest of his brethren and his mother looking on. And now, when he was thus maimed in all his members, the king commanded him being yet alive, and brought to the fire, and to be fried in a pan, as the vapor of the pan was for a good space dispersed. And they exhorted one another with the mother, and to die manfully, saying thus, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, look upon us. In truth, he have comfort in us, as Moses in his song, which witnessed to their faces, declaring, saying, and he shall be comfort in his servants. So when the first was dead, and after this number, they brought forth the second, and made him a mocking stock. And when they had pulled off his skin of his head, and with his hair, and they asked him, wilt thou eat before thou be punished throughout every member of any of thy body? But he answered in his own language, and said, lie. Wherefore he also received the next torment in order as the former did. And this example of how dying manfully, upholding the law, statutes, commandments of the Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. And hey, this is a good example of having faith in Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, even in death. I'm going to skip down to here. In verse 9, and when he was at the last gasp, he said, thou, like a fury, has taken us out of this present life, but the King of the world shall raise us up, who have died for his laws, and into everlasting life. And this is what we hope and pray for, that if we die for the law, statutes, commandments of the Holy One of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, that he will bring us back. And when we come back, it'll be everlasting life. You know? And I'll just grab a few scriptures because I want I want to speed this thing along. This is Daniel 12:1. Once you go in this world, if you have the leg, you will immediately be brought back to life when Yahawashi returns. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, some to shame and everlasting contempt. And the some to everlasting life, Hey, those are the hopeful elect in the 1/3. Though you die in this world, you will be brought back. You know, this is Revelation 12 and 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you unto the prisons, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. And this one we're waiting for. We're waiting for Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi finally allow Yahawashi and the angels to gather us up out of the four winds of the earth. And at the same time they be gathered, the dead in Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi will be already gathered. Matter of fact, let me get it. Matter of fact, let me. This is a scripture I wanted. 1 Corinthians 15 and 51. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall be changed. We shall all be changed. In a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, and we shall all be changed. We're going to get that new body. That new spiritual body with the laws, statutes, commandments written in our hearts, in our minds, in our inward parts. And we will walk in the law, statutes, commandments as we way we were supposed to be. And the law, statutes, commandments will be imprinted in our mind. We will be there'll be second nature to us when we the time when Yahweh shall return. We get them better bodies. In a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall give a sound. The trumpet shall sound. And the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruptible, and this immortal must put on immortality. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass, saying, that is written, death is swallowed up in the victory, and we're going to receive eternal life. O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? The sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. So, uphold the law, statutes, commandments to the best of your ability. Walk in them. Uphold them. Don't eat flying flesh. Don't eat crab, shrimp, or lobster. Don't do anything contrary to what the Most High gave Moses the decree to give to us. Uphold it to the best of your ability. So, I got a few more I want to grab. We did that one. This is Revelation 6 and 9, and when he opened up the fifth seal, and I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of Yahawah and for their testimony which they held. And these are members of the 144,000 in the 1/3. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood upon them that dwell upon the earth? We have the saints of the Most High in heaven crying upon him day and night, giving him no rest. You know, and this is Revelation 14:3. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, write, blessed are the dead which die in Yahawah, Bahasham Yahawashi, for henceforth saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. You know? Hey, just show you that, that Michael C. Hip, if you don't take it, this is what's going to happen to you. Draconian measures. And it's prophesied that it's going to happen. This is Revelation 24. And I saw the thrones, and they that sat upon them. And I saw the judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahawashi, and for the word of Yahawah, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his charagma upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with the Mashiach 1,000 years. So, hey, I pray this video was edifying to the hopeful elect. Hey, be faithful unto death. You know, and these are just examples of men in the scriptures about upholding the righteous decrees of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi concerning against the order of the king of these lands. Hey, you uphold the laws, statutes, commandments whatsoever, even if it means going to death, going to the spirit world. So with that said, hey, I pray that was edifying. Shalom.